James, thank you for taking the time to talk to me following the talk that I did for your team last week. I wanted to ask you a few questions about the experience that you had so that we can share that with maybe other companies that are thinking of hiring myself as a speaker or Immerse as a business to help them accelerate their sales. So the first question I wanted to ask you is, when you and I first spoke, what were some of the issues or the challenges that you were observing in your team that you wanted to have addressed in the talk that I did? And do you feel that that was kind of adequately or well covered during the talk on Wednesday?
Yeah, so Monet, thank you again for coming. I think we had a really exceptional time. I think, didn't know going in kind of exactly how I was going to go with the team, and was really happy with the results. I think that the need that Yale had was we had a range of salespeople, a range of training, and we'd never brought in an outside speaker, to be honest with you, never brought in an outside training person. And so, I think that in general, the company was pushing product and pushing, knowledge and probably just, falling into, one of the three, one of the four, one of the five competitors who just, all would tell you that they're the best. And I think you helped us tune up and, learn that it's got to be more about great questions and than listening. And I loved the platinum rule, which was, it's don't treat others as you would like to be treated, but treat others as they would like to be treated. Yeah. There's a lot of good takeaways there for the team that hopefully put us more in the consultative and expert advisory than just another service provider.
Perfect. Thanks for that, James. So after the talk, I had the opportunity to speak to some of your team members, and I was pleasantly, not surprised, but pleasantly encouraged by the positive feedback. But I know from my experience that the real feedback comes when I leave the room. So I was curious to know, what is some of the experience and the feedback that the team shared with you about the talk afterwards?
Yeah, I think it was the highlight of our 3-day training. Honestly, I think that the team was really thrilled to have, kind of an upbeat outside voice that, again, tuned up the way they looked at things. We've been training them for, a number of years. The sales team has been with us for a minimum of 2 and maybe some as much as 5 or 6 years. And it gets routine. It gets a little, as they think of me as their boss, they think of me as kind of almost their whiny, significant other, harping on the same things. And I think that this was such a nice outside experience. It reignited everybody. It reinvigorated everybody. And it just gave them another way to look at things. And I think it put them, again, it helped them recognize that they've got to be serving others, and they got to be asking better questions and not just going through the motions. I think the attitude of all the sales team is going to be improved by that, just general perspective.
Well, that's great to hear. Now, I'm really glad to hear that there were some strong takeaways. So speaking of takeaways, for you personally, because you were part of that session, what were, say, 2 of the main things that you took away that you now are committed to implementing in your business or in your life as a result of what we spoke about?
So I think for me, it's going to be, again, in the sales process, as I'm working with clients, to not just go right to what we can do for them, but spend more time doing the discovery process and the pull-out process with them, finding those pressure points so I can better tailor my solution to them. And also, just helping with the overall sales presentation, becoming more of a solution, finding instead of a service pushing sales process. And then I think the other important thing is just, those touches. You gave us that 9 to 13 touches is the magic number for closing a sale, and most salespeople fall off around 5. I think that was a good reminder of more touches in different ways, finding more ways to reach clients in unique ways, and maybe it's text updates or picture reviews out somewhere. Just connect with them more on a personal level as well, not just sales.
I love that. Very, very cool. And obviously, the ideal for a talk like that is for it not to die in the room, right? We talk about the experience or the knowledge dying in the room. And I know that you've already followed up with your team. You're now doing accountability in your weekly sales calls around the topics that we discussed. If each of your team members took just one thing and they leaned in and applied that, what do you think the impact on your business might be from a commercial standpoint if they did that?
I would expect that along with our natural growth of maybe 15 to 20% annually, I would expect another 10% just by tuned up sales. And I think that the more we invest in that and the more we invest in follow up, and like you said, the risk is, a month from now, it'll be 70% forgotten. 3 months from now, it'll be 90% forgotten.
Yeah.
And then, within 6 months, they'll be back to who they were before they met you, with maybe a couple little nuggets. I think that's going to be super helpful to keep tuning up and keep reminding them. And again, that outside sales coach kind of on a regular tune-up basis, I think is going to be crucial.
Yeah.
Just keep bringing new ideas, fresh ideas, a new face, and really you bringing excitement to the team that I think really was helpful.
Perfect. Now, I love the attitude and I love the insight that you guys already have, that it's about consistency, not about intensity, right? Intensity is great for a rah-rah, but if you don't have that consistency, that pattern interrupt, that habit change, then you do have the law of diminishing returns over time. So I love that. And then finally, James, a simple one. If there are other companies out there that are looking to accelerate their sales, would you recommend me as a speaker for them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think everybody besides my competitors should consider bringing you on board. I think we signed a non-compete with you. But yeah, I think to any of my friends in any, any industry, from industrial sales to yachts to even travel agents, I think that you immerse and Mornay, particularly your style and I'm sure your whole team would be extremely helpful.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the kind words. Thank you for the recommendation. And I look forward to doing those follow-ups with your team and making sure that we really get the most out of the talk and out of the initiatives, the seeds that we've planted, and make sure that those guys are exponentially and predictably growing their sales. Thank you, James.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mornay. Appreciate your time, man.